Hi, everyone. Do you guys want to wave? We could be dorky and wave.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. This is Drury 101, the live chat, and we actually just kind of gathered a bunch of different here to answer your questions. So first off, this chat is geared towards juniors, and just kind of that stage of the process. But we also opened it up to seniors, so you're more than welcome to be here if you're a senior. You may just have to kind of be okay with some questions that you already know the answer to. So just be prepared for that. We can do introductions first. So my name is Katie Jansen. I'm an admissions counselor. I'm here to moderate, to read your questions to the rest of the group, and also answer questions for admissions. And then Dr. JSB, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm Dr. Jennifer Silva Brown. I am the dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences at Drury. I'm also a psychologist. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our new program, Your Drury Fusion, and answer any academic questions from the faculty perspective.
Perfect. Madeline?
Hi, I'm Madeline Clark, and I graduated from Drury this last May in 2019, and now I am pursuing my dual PharmD and MBA degree in Kansas City, and I graduated from Drury with my biochemistry degree. And so any questions about life after Drury, how Drury helped me prepare for this next stage, and I would hope that I can answer those for you guys.
Nice. Finally, Dre. Hi, Dre, can you hear us? Okay, maybe we might be lagging for a bit. So when Dre's ready, we'll have him introduce himself. But I actually have a first question. So it's perfect because I think it's for JSB if you're willing to answer it. It's
Yeah.
Delaney wants to know, I know you have programs for pre-med students so that they can apply early. Do you have those sort of programs for future PAs?
Oh, for future PAs. So, hi Delaney. We're really so excited that you're here. So for future PAs, we have a really strong pre-health program. We have a really great pre-health track per se that all of our students can take. We have amazing pre-health advisors that can advise you for pre-health programming. So we have a lot of students these days that are really interested in the pre-health track. We don't have pre-admission to pre-health programs like we would do with the medical school programs, but we do have students that are actively pursuing PA school and that are on a pre-PA like track, and they're just in our regular pre-health program, and they are advised by our pre-health faculty that are very aware of the admissions requirements, the rigorous admissions requirements, the courses that you would need in order to be admitted into that school, and they would be able to absolutely get you on the right track and prepared for moving forward in that program. So
Absolutely. And Madeline, do you want to kind of talk about like, because you didn't do a pre-acceptance program, correct?
No, I did not. So I
Right.
did all 4 years at Drury, and just went ahead and did biochemistry. And I can say that I was so well prepared for pharmacy school, and it was such a great feeling to like go and understand what my professors there were talking about and be able to help other people who hadn't had like such a strong background in the sciences before.
That's awesome. Awesome. And I know PA and farm aren't the same thing, but I do think it's
Definitely
important
same
to note
classes,
that
yeah.
we send a lot of students to a lot of different places and they tend to be pretty prepared. So
mhm.
thank you, Delaney. We'll move on. Josiah would like to know, will there be campus visits? Oh, wait, time out. Dre, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Hey guys, I'm Drury Hill. I am a junior from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm majoring in animation and writing, and I'm also on the university's track and cross country teams.
Awesome. Cool. So now that you've introduced yourself, feel free to jump in. Maybe I'll point it towards you if it's something I think that you'd be really good at answering. So
Yeah.
Josiah wants to know, will there be campus visits available in mid-June? That would be more like my territory. So we'll have to see. I think the timeline for everyone is a little up in the air right now. We have an entire task force at Drury that's their job is to kind of figure out like what the next steps are for everyone, including Drury. And so we'll just keep you updated. As soon as we know, you'll know, I promise. Next, Delaney again. She wants to know, is Drury's housing policy still that you must live on campus until you are 21? So I'll hit that one again if you guys want me to. Our housing policy does say that technically after you're 21 and up, you are exempt in kind of questions asked. If it's before 21, if you're younger than 21, we do require you to live on campus freshman year unless you have a special circumstance. And then past that, it's kind of the same case. You can get an exemption from staying on campus if you really need one, if there's like a specific circumstance for you to not live on campus. But I will say so many students will recommend to you to live on campus. It's just so much easier. It's all inclusive. And so when you live on campus, like if something breaks, if your toilet breaks or the air conditioning isn't working, there's someone there immediately to help you, which is so nice. And, you know, class is a 2-minute walk away. So it's kind of hard to talk yourself out of going. So I would recommend everyone live on campus, but definitely talk to your counselor if you think that you fall under a circumstance of not living on campus. Michaela wants to know, how can I apply to college this summer if my ACT testing day was canceled? You guys are going to get questions, I promise. It's so Michaela, how do I apply to college this summer if my ACT testing day? So I'm assuming you're a junior maybe, so you want to apply for the next year. You're welcome to apply as soon as our application drops for next year, but that'll be around August. And we are actually no longer requiring test scores for next year. And so it's just kind of, it's new for me too. So I don't want to like talk too much about it and say anything wrong, but counselor, we're going to start talking about that more in depth soon. Right now, we're really like in the thick of it with our seniors. And so we kind of haven't like chatted through that one too much, but we are no longer requiring test scores for next year, and we'll see exactly what that looks like and what we'll need from you. But talk to your counselor and we can get it done. Absolutely. But if you're a junior, application will be August and afterwards. So look out for that. Also, I'm sorry your testing day got canceled, but not that much. Aaron wants to know, describe your marching band program. So does anyone? No, but one of my coworkers is, she's kind of like the lead of the color guard. I believe she's coach, but I don't know if that title has actually been announced. But so color guard and marching band I know aren't the same thing, but I've heard a lot about it, and it is brand new next year. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm steamrolling you people. None of you guys have experienced it yet. None of us have. So it starts brand new next year. It's supposed to be incredible. We have a coach that's going to be great. They're offering scholarships for it, so look out for those. And yeah, just reach out and talk to your counselor about it, and we'll get you in contact with the coach, with the band director, and we can kind of see what that looks like for you, and if you can, start in the fall, or if you want to just kind of test it out because it is new. So yeah, really reach out about that one. Harley wants to know, I just had a couple questions about your early childhood program for people who are interested in becoming teachers. And I also wanted to know what I had to do to be able to get accepted. This is a dream school of mine. Harley, we love that. JSB, do you want to talk a little bit about early childhood program?
So with the education program, it's Harley, right? Harley, yeah. To be honest, I'm the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences, so I am not totally exactly familiar with the education program specifics. So that one is really, I'm not sure if I would have specifics for you in terms of the credentials and kind of the requirements for that specific program, but we can absolutely set you up with Dr. Shannon Cuff, who's the dean of that school. In terms of admission requirements for that program, you would just go through the same admissions process that every other Drury student goes through, and then you would go through the teacher certification process is mandated by the state of Missouri by DESE. That's the certification body for the entire state. So when students graduate with their early childhood degree, they're certified by the state of Missouri. So I don't have any information regarding the specific courses and all of those things, but you would have a great experience. You'd have student teaching experience. The program is absolutely stellar. There's master's degree options as well. So I don't know if I have any more information from that, but if you definitely send us an email, we can set you up with Dean Cuff, and she can send you so much information about the early childhood program. But the admissions requirements would be just, you would apply just like every other Drury student, and that would be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And I think it's a good, you mentioned meeting with Shannon Cuff, the dean. I think that's perfect. And we actually are doing virtual meetings now for part of like
Yeah.
the campus visit experience online. So so if you wanted to reach out, Harley, and kind of see if you wanted to meet with Dr. Cuff and kind of talk about it that way, you definitely can. And then kind of to circle back, I actually had a coworker text me while they're watching this and give us more information on what it's test optional. So for the requirements, it can be the same as it always has been. So with your, you send in your high school transcript, your official high school transcript, and then your official test scores, whether that be ACT or SAT. If you would like to go into the test optional option, the admission process would look just a little bit different. The essay would actually be required then, where it isn't necessarily required if you send us a test. And then it would just kind of be, it would be a heavier weight on your transcript. So us counselors will read through, actually, my favorite part of working in admissions at Drury is that we look at students with a holistic approach. So we never look at students and we think like, oh, they didn't get a good grade one semester in math, they can't come to Drury, or whatever it might be. You're not a test score to us, you're a whole person. And so we look at you holistically and look at your benefits and kind of look at you as a whole person. In fact, sometimes we have you do a little interview. It's not super common, but we do that just to kind of get to know you. And so I love our admissions process. I think I could talk about it for days, but I really shouldn't. But we really do look at you as a whole person. So fill out that application. It'll be great. Let's see. I moved. Grace asks, do you have any advertisement marketing majors, and are they on campus or online? We do have both of those. So they are both. They're on campus and online. We have a bunch of different, if you want, on our website, you can look up a full list of our majors and go through and see. We have majors, minors, and certificates. You can look through all of those and see which ones kind of fit what you're looking for. Does anybody else have anything to do with those? Anybody have a minor I don't know about? Okay. John wants to know what kind of scholarships are available. So we have a lot of different scholarships. They range. It really just depends on our calculations as far as like GPA plus test score plus essay and all that fun stuff. And so we'll let you know. What's fun about our academic scholarships is that as soon as you apply, given that you're accepted, you'll know exactly what you qualify for academic wise. We do have a calculator online. I don't think we have one for, if you're a junior, we don't have one for the next year because we don't have our grid system set up yet. But you will be able to kind of look at that and see what you might qualify for. But you can also reach out to your counselor or apply, and we will. We do have lots of different scholarships. Does anybody else know, like, do you guys have any scholarships you qualified for as students that you want to talk about? Outside of just like the admission ones, maybe like one that you got later on, or?
I would encourage you. So I'm not from Missouri. I'm from Oklahoma, actually, but I applied to like local ones around my town, and that really helps the first year. So I would definitely recommend like looking for outside scholarships as well.
And on that point, I would say that Drury does have a list of outside scholarships on the university's website, which I have looked at, and I've actually been awarded some scholarships from that as well. So I take a look at that too.
Good. Lovely. Okay. So the next one says, what does test optional mean? Which I think we covered a little bit earlier, but that's okay. We can do it again. So next year we are going test optional, which means if you've taken the ACT or SAT and you want that in the admissions decision and in scholarship decisions, you're welcome to send that in. But if you are not doing that, if you would rather not take the test or you can't fit it in, we will be accepting essays in place. And so we'll need your official high school transcript no matter what, and then we can take the essay or the test. Honestly, you could probably send us all three if you really wanted to, if you're feeling that way. Laura wants to know, do you offer scholarships for playing an instrument?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I think yes.
There
So
are
we have,
so many students that sing and that play instruments and that want to be involved in music and marching band and jury singers and all of the amazing music programs that we have. And you do not necessarily need to be a music major in order to qualify for those scholarships. So I don't know if anybody else wants to speak about those, but there's some really great opportunities for students.
yeah. Just because I've been talking nonstop, do you two have anything? I can add stuff, but I'm tired of hearing myself talk.
Just like Dr. Silva Brown said, I did have friends that were in singers, or we didn't have marching band, but did like orchestra and that kind of stuff. And they got scholarships, but they like majored in biochemistry and marketing and accounting. And so it's just like something, if you like want to keep like up with your hobby, like that's incredible. And to get a scholarship for it would be also nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's big too that at Drury you can do things like have a scholarship for playing an instrument or singing or whatever it might be, and you don't have to study that. You don't have to study music to get paid to do that. We often on campus say that Drury students wear a lot of hats, and that really just means that we allow you to be all the facets that you are as a person, and you can parts of yourself and do them and get credit for them and get money for them and scholarships, but also still know that like maybe that's not what you want to do professionally and for the rest of your life. So you're welcome to get a separate degree or a different one. So I think that's wonderful. Good answers, guys. Will wants to know, how will college admissions work next year with the ACTs being canceled for junior year? So Will, we are going test optional, which is awesome. So next year, we've kind of switched some things around. We do need your official high school transcripts, but past that, we can take test scores if you have them, but we can also just take an essay, and we'll just look at you holistically and kind of read your essay and see what we think and talk to you. And maybe there's an interview involved if we need it to be. But we are test optional, which is awesome. So if you have any more questions about that, definitely reach out to your counselor. If you don't know who that is, just send an email to someone on Drury and we'll get them to the right person. Wants to know, can you describe your swimming program?
Oh,
Any of you guys? Suspicious?
It's really
okay.
Great, and they win a lot of national championships, and it's really stellar.
It really
like
is,
and I like it really good.
Yeah, no, it seriously is. And there's so much I don't know who asked that. Mason asked that. I don't know if you're from the Springfield area, but if you're anywhere near Springfield, everyone knows the Drury Swim program is so incredible, and we have a lot of different things that reach out to the community and have them do swim teams at Drury and with coaches and things like that. So it's pretty well known. They do win quite a bit. I've only ever heard good things, and also when you walk by the pool, there's like a whole wall of trophies, which is just awesome and very intimidating.
Yes. It's an incredible team.
Yes, it really is. And anybody that asks questions about sports and programs, did anyone, and I already forgot, Dre, nobody played a sport in this group, did we?
I was on the dance team.
Oh yeah, so Madeline can talk about the dance team, but none of us are like experts on a specific team, and we can still answer questions. But I would say if you're interested in athletics at Drury, definitely reach out to the coaches. And you're a junior and you're kind of tiptoeing into the college process, you're always more than welcome to Google Drury swim team and Drury swim coach or whoever it is, and they'll pop up, or reach out to your counselor. But I say that 8 million times and you might not know who I'm talking about. So definitely just send them an email. And I know you guys have your stats and stuff like that, but start talking to coaches, even if you think it might be too early, it isn't, and put yourself on their radar. It's always a good idea. Rose wants to know, beautiful name. Rose wants to know, does Drury University have special classes for people who have ADHD? And do you guys also have an art and music program? So let's do the first one first. Would anybody want to interject before?
I can explain a little bit. The process
Please.
for accommodations in college is totally different from the process for accommodations in high school. So the documentation that we will need from college when you get to Drury's campus or wherever you decide to attend a university, you will meet with an office that services students for accommodations, and they will meet with you about what kind of accommodations that you would require to be successful in the classroom. But the documentation that you would need to provide is completely different from what was required in high school. And we will work with you at Drury. We have something that we call first year, first day. Now, that may look a little bit different this summer in light of what's going on. But what that gives students do is the opportunity to come on campus in the summer and meet with faculty and meet with advisors. And then you kind of, if that's a concern for you where you want to meet and talk about ways that we need to accommodate to help you be successful in the classroom, then we're absolutely going to do that. And we need to just understand you better and then make those accommodations happen. So but the paperwork that we would need in order to do that is going to be, in the process that we go through, is completely different. It's the requirements are just completely different at the collegiate level than they are at the high school level. But we will walk you through that, and we will walk your family through that, and every other institution does that. So I don't know if I would if there's any stressors about that, if students stress about that, if other students are listening. I wouldn't, because there are offices on campus, on every university campus, that will work with you in order to make sure that we are doing everything in our power to help you succeed in the classroom. So.
Absolutely. I love that answer. So the second part of the question is, do you guys have an art and music program? We absolutely do. We have fine arts and we have music, and we have a lot of different facets within that. Does anyone want to say anything about art and music and those programs? Anybody have any experience?
I've taken a drawing course. I needed to take one for my animation major, so I've dabbled a little bit in the fine arts department, but it's really cool. The professors are really invested, and you learn a lot. I kind of completely changed my thinking when I approach art from that class, so it's really interesting and in depth. But if you go that route, like, you'll have a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Jerry, do you want to talk a little bit about animation then, because that fully fits
Yeah.
into the arts, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Actually, it's in the School of Communication, but with animation, the way that it's set up is your first 3 semesters are kind of just getting your basic requirements in, and then after that, you pick a track, either 2D or 3D. Regardless, it's going to be digital, but with 3D, that's more like, when you think about like game design and game development and like 3D film, like Frozen and Zootopia, stuff like that. Whereas the 2D is more of a traditional look, more like the classic Disney movies and stuff like that, hand drawn, but it's still on a computer.
Cool. That's awesome. And Dre, since we're already on the topic of you play a sport, yes?
Yes. I run track and cross country.
You. So please take over any of the athletics questions. So sorry. You gotta make sure I don't do that. Let's see. So, oh no, here we are. Mason wants to know, would you be able to tell me about your pre-dental program?
Oh,
Madeline,
Mason,
I feel like you had.
Madeline may help with a little bit more of that.
You
were pre-health. If you were pre-health track, it would be Madeline.
I just figured Madeline has like friends that were pre-dental.
I do know a couple people that are going to dental school. I'm not positive about requirements and that kind of stuff. I do know that like you would just like probably major in like biology or chemistry or biochemistry, and then you kind of take like course specific classes. So like for pharmacy school, like I took like immunology and microbiology like as electives, but for dental school you may take like a couple more anatomy classes and like those type of things, so you can like structure your classes like within that major to what you want to do post jury, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. JSB, you got any fact checks?
No, Madeline hit it. So you have, we have pre-health programs and students that are either pre-dentistry, pre-med, pre-PA, pre-nursing, all of those. They tend to major in those programs like biology, biochemistry, because they're the path of least resistance, meaning that they have the most overlap. Those majors have the most overlap with the pre-dental requirements, right? But you could technically major in anything you wanted, but that seems to be the most common, those most common choices. But we have great faculty that will mentor you along the way. They know those pre-dental courses and exactly what you need. We have a lot of students that internship at dentist office. My dentist is a Drury grad. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of students that are pre-health and they succeed in the classroom and they do really, really well. So yeah, traditional pre-health track and just tell us where you're headed and we'll help guide you.
Absolutely. Love it, guys. Okay, so I think it moved up a little bit. This is great. Reese wants to know, what kind of competitive scholarships does Drury offer? So Reese, there's a bunch of different scholarships you actually have to apply for, and some that require auditions and interviews. And we can let you know more of that in the fall. We have what's called, like, in my office, we call them interest-based scholarships. So it's really more like, what do you like to do and what do you want to do with your life? And those are things that we'll send out like emails about as soon as you are interested in Drury. Even before you apply, we'll send you some stuff like that. Especially after you apply, we'll let you know what scholarships you could qualify for. And then I'm a say competitive, like there's this many people that apply for it and then this many people that get it. And so we do have things like that. It definitely is more based on like what you're interested in. There's a business scholarship. There's a bunch of music scholarships. There's a bunch of different things like that. So definitely reach out and ask about those in kind of more of a lens of what you're looking for. And we can let you know if we have things like that. Let's see. Kirsten, so sorry, wants to know, what is it like balancing varsity and academics? Dre?
Good
All
question.
you.
Yeah. So the biggest thing about that is just managing your time and trying to balance, the fact that you're spending so much of your day at practice or training for your competitions, and then also trying to balance that with, okay, I need to get in the classroom or get into the lab or wherever I need to go and get my my homework and other work done. So it's a lot of learning to manage your time, and then also finding ways to take care of things in advance if possible. If you can knock out a couple things earlier, that frees you up for time later, especially if you have to get up early for practice so you can get more rest. Finding ways to kind of weave in things so you can kind of kill more birds with one stone.
And just from
Absolutely.
the faculty perspective, the coaches are constantly emailing us with their student travel schedules. So it's kind of a little weird to say this, but we kind of know where you are. So if you're gone, we know that. And if you're gone for a tournament and you're going to be gone all week, well, we know that. And if you're out of the classroom and you're not supposed to be gone for athletics, well, we know that too. So we know that something might be up and we need to check on you for that reason as well. So athletics and academics have a tight connection at Drury because we're so small. So, and that's the beauty about what makes students succeed. Our athletes have a really, really high aggregate GPA. Those students really do really well because they have to have strong time management skills.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the next question is, Corinne, I think is how you say that name. It's spelled beautifully. What types of dorms are available for incoming freshmen? So we do have 3 freshman dorms. They are all, first off, they are all suite style. So what I mean by that is, like, if you've ever seen a movie to a college campus and they have like that hallway style bathroom where everyone in that one hallway shares like a locker room-esque bathroom. We don't have that, which is nice. So our dorms, there's 2 different layouts of dorms. There are 3 dorms, but 2 of them have the same layout where there's 4 people to a suite and 1 bathroom in between 2 bedrooms. One of our dorms actually has 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So you have your own bedroom and then you share a bathroom with only one other person. But really, we have actually a virtual tour of the dorms. Please look at that. And I always say, like, I used to be a tour guide, and when I would show the dorms, I would say they all have their own personality. And it's so true. There's no wrong choice for dorm. They're all wonderful and they all have great amenities, but you just have to like go into the dorm or look at the dorm online and kind of see which one you would want to live in. Dorms are a huge part of college. And if you don't like where you live, it doesn't matter how much you like your classes and how much you like your friends and all the things. It's just encompassing. And so we really want to make sure you're matched with the right dorm. So definitely look at those online. Does anybody have, like, you lived in the dorm and it was your favorite dorm ever? Madeline, I know Madeline and I lived in the same hallway freshman year. So we're both Sunday gals.
That's
but
so
then,
funny. I was in Sunday too my freshman year.
no, diversity-wise, that's upsetting. But we love Sunday, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place. And then I was an RA in Wallace for 2 years, and I think Wallace stole my heart. It's the wood floors. It really
And the
gets me.
cool walls. Like the walls are all colored.
Yeah, and you
like
know which floor you're in Wallace, like with what color the walls are. It's kind of crazy. Do you guys actually? Oh, we'll wait because there'll probably be a question. We'll skip the LLC conversation, and it might be later.
Okay.
Let's see. Delaney wants to know what sets Drury apart from other schools that size in the Midwest. Madeline, do you want to go? You have one.
I was gonna say everything. I mean, you said the same size. So in similar schools, like the class sizes will be the same, but like that is one thing about Drury is your class sizes. I don't think even in like my freshman year classes that I had, everybody starts out in, I don't think I ever had more than 30, 35 people in a class. And so when you have individualized learning like that, like you can learn and your professor is like there to help you. And you just like are able to make such closer connections, like not only with your professors, but with your peers and like your students around you. So that's what I would say.
Absolutely. Dre, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I think I would just say that for starters, with me not being like from the Midwest, me being closer to the South and Texas and everything, coming to Drury, for me, it was like a completely different kind of experience because it's nothing like where I'm from or any of the schools that are near where I'm from, but it was still homey. Like Madeline said, the class sizes are small, so there's a lot of getting to know your professors and your classmates. And there's just something about being on campus, like it just feels right. When you look at the Dear DU videos that came out in the past couple of weeks or whatever, and you just look at all the people, all the students and even the faculty from posting on like the university's IG page talking about how they miss their students and how they miss their professors and miss being on campus. There's just something about the community aspect of Drury that like ties the whole experience together. And that I think that's part of the reason why people love campus and love Drury so much.
Absolutely. JSB, you want to round us out?
Yes. So I'm going to talk about the community, because we are the Drury family and we do get a little, all of us, even the students, we get a little sappy about it. But I'm going to use this opportunity to tell you a little bit about our academics briefly, because I know we have a lot of questions to get through, and what differentiates us from other small institutions within the Midwest. So if you're looking at us compared to other schools, when you're looking at other schools, you may see what most students refer to as like a traditional kind of menu option of courses that students have to take, maybe referred to like general education or menu. Well, we have this great new program called Your Drury Fusion. And Your Drury Fusion rolls out this new kind of layer of credentials in addition to majors and minors. It's called certificates. And certificates are a cluster of 4 courses, or multidisciplinary courses centered around a theme. So basically what we've done is we've predominantly mostly gone away from the menu, and students now get to pick a series of certificates that they can take. So it's taken the liberal arts education that we've always done. It's taken the traditional liberal arts education and it's modernized delivery of it. So the certificate that you could take that would be really, really cool would be something like sports leadership going beyond the game, right? Like, so we've had a lot of students ask questions about athletics. So you may not be going on to be a professional athlete, but you can absolutely use that skill in whatever field you go into, because you'll have to learn to be a member of a team and work efficiently, right? And have interpersonal relationships. So what can you learn from being a member of a team, right? So you'll take a communication class, you'll take a sociology class, and you'll take a whole but and then the final course in that is an internship class. So you take a series of courses, interdisciplinary courses, centered around a theme. So that's the beauty of your Drury Fusion, is that you're learning to look at things through these multi interdisciplinary lenses. So you're no longer checking boxes, right? And you get to pick multiple credentials. You can pick a certificate in this and a certificate in that, and then your major that you love. And then you can minor in music because you really just want to sing all day long, right? And because it's your passion, right? So that's, I think, your Drury Fusion is really what sets us apart from other institutions right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that answer. And also, I don't want to speak for you, Madeline, but I'm sure you feel the same way that I do, which is like, we miss Drury Fusion because it's new. We
just
didn't
a
get
little
it.
salty. It wasn't rolled out when we were still there.
Me too. And but it's funny when I talk about it, it is stuff that Drury has always been doing. Drury has always allows you to do all these different things and be who you want to be and take the classes you want to take and make sure that you're dipping your toes in every facet that you are and making sure that you get to do things that are just a passion, not just what you want to do as a profession. But now they get certificates for it.
Seriously.
Madeline, do you want to go back? Because I do.
Can I? Do you think they'll let us?
Not at this point.
Yep.
They want me
There's
gone.
16. There's 16 certificates. So if you're watching, I encourage you to go to the website and find the ones that you really love. So
that's perfect. I love that. Okay, so Kevin wants to know, what is it like to come from out of state? Is there a lot to do on campus or off campus? So is anyone from out of state? I'm sorry, I already forgot. Yes, Madeline? Yeah, perfect. So what was it like to come from out of state? Dre, if you want to start.
Yeah, so for me, where I'm from, Fort Worth, it's a little bit bigger than Springfield. So with it being surrounded by so many other different big cities as well, like Dallas and Arlington and stuff, there's a lot to do where I'm from. So things are always moving. Coming to Springfield, I felt that there was a lot to do and things are always moving, but it's on a much slower, smaller scale. So it's got like kind of like the big city charm, but more of a smaller town feel to it, like a smaller city feel to it. But like adjusting was easy. I felt right at home, and me and my friends always find something to do, either go eat or go to the movies, go to the mall, play golf. Like it seemed like every week this year, especially, like my teammates would text me like, "Hey, you guys want to go golfing or bowling, or like what do you guys want to do?" And you can find things to do, definitely.
Yeah, Madeline.
So I come from a small town in Oklahoma, and then right now I'm in pharmacy school up in Kansas City. So Springfield was like, I would say like my median, and I am just hoping that in 3 years I get to move back to Springfield because I really fell in love with it. It kind of like Dre said, like you have the big city stuff, like there was a Target and and like fun things like cider days on Walnut Street and those type of things. But yes, like there's also so much to do on campus. My parents were kind of mad my freshman year. I didn't come home until fall break and then not again until Thanksgiving because there was just always so much to do. And so yeah, you will never not be busy if you want to be.
Yeah.
Madeline, I knew you were going to be a great person to answer that. Dre too, but like Madeline, because we live together, literally, I think there were times where you were like, I like miss my parents, but I can't leave Springfield. I remember more your parents coming to Springfield. I don't know if that's true.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Melanie, so actually we might, because we have so many questions going on right now, which is awesome. I love that everyone's asking them a little bit quicker. So if it's a bigger question, maybe just one person answer it. And then we'll try to go quickly, maybe like a rapid fire. So Melanie wants to know, am I able to transfer my concurrent dual credits over to Drury? Yes. Thank you for asking. Go Melanie. Most of them transfer. Talk to the academic advisor or your counselor. Sorry if you don't know who they are. We'll figure it out for you. Gary wants to know, my daughter is on a 504 plan in high school. How would you support this at Drury?
So quickly, the accommodations process at the collegiate level is totally different from the 504 process at the high school level. Every institution, including Drury, has an office that will work with the student to talk about the specific documentation that you need and the accommodations that we will provide in order to help that student succeed in the classroom. So it's just a totally different process, but we will start that process as soon as that student is admitted and before they even get on campus in the fall.
That is perfect. Let's see. Oh no, I moved. I did this to myself. Christian with a K, very fun. Wants to know, what can I expect if I wanted to pursue animation at Drury? Like, what softwares or classes can I expect? Dre?
Yeah, so coming in as a freshman, you'll get a lot of basics. You'll get like the principles of animation, which just breaks down like, all the basic skills necessary to create animations themselves. And you'll start with animation 1 and computer 1, and you'll progress from there. As far as software, we do a lot of Adobe Suite products, so Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, things like that. But there are also other softwares like Maya, Toon Boom, stuff like that you'll get into as you advance, and also start taking some of the upper electives where you get to kind of choose what you take.
You just sounded so cool. Gary wants to know, can you provide details of your color guard program? Gary? Yes. Our color guard program is new. It's so both marching band and color guard are new. So if I'm honest, Gary, I don't know all of the ins and outs, but I do know who you can contact. So actually our fellow admissions counselor, Becca Vogt, VOGT, if you want to write that down, she is kind of in charge of all of that information, and I believe she'll be taking the team next year. So definitely find her information. It's on the website. She has a cute little picture next to it. And you can reach out and ask her because she can tell you everything. Or Gary will get your information and we'll send it to you. So we can let you know, but it is brand new and it is awesome. And I'm trying to go fast. Sabrina asks, what is campus life like? Madeline?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
There's always something going on campus. If you like live in the dorms, your RAs like plan really fun things for you. If you're in the apartments, you have CAs. They always like try and have stuff going on for you too. During like the fall and the spring when it's nice, we have Kellogg Green Space and Sunderland Field, and people are out there golfing or playing frisbee. That's the only thing I can think of. And then like there's Greek life, there's athletics that you can go to games, you can go to philanthropy events, you just literally there's always something going on.
The fireworks.
Absolutely.
The fireworks.
Oh,
yeah.
The fireworks.
fireworks.
I would also just say that campus is just like friendly, especially if you're not from the Midwest. Like, prepare yourself because everyone says hi and everyone smiles, and it's not because we have an agenda. We just do it. So I think everyone's super friendly on campus. And please look at our virtual tour of campus and look at the pictures that we have on the website of campus. Campus is beautiful. We are a tree campus, and so that means we have like hundreds and hundreds of trees. And so especially like in the fall and spring, it's just so pretty. Love campus, big fan. Tania wants to know, do you accept outside scholarships? Yes, we do. Outside scholarships work normally either the outside scholarship, if you are awarded it, they will send us the money, the check, or they will give it to you. It just kind of depends on what it is. There are some scholarships that you can qualify for that literally just grants you this amount of money per year. But if they go to Drury, then we accept those as well. So outside scholarships, definitely. They are a wonderful thing to look for to help pay for college. Mary wants to know, are there still scholarships available to seniors? There are still academic scholarships available to seniors, and there are a couple others here and there that you can ask about. Mary, hopefully you've applied already. And if you haven't, you still have time. So get that process started and ask your counselor as soon as we reach out. If you apply or if you've already applied, we should have some email. So dig through that box. And then we can let you know about other scholarships. Quinn wants to know, if I submit my housing form without a roommate selection, can I request a specific roommate later? Yes. Also, once I have submitted my housing contract, how do I go about finding out my matches from the general pool of students? We'll email you. Housing will email you. So if you haven't already picked a specific roommate, then you fill out a quiz that's like, do you like mornings? How loud are you when you snore? I don't think that's a real question. But they find you a roommate, and then housing will email you and say, here's your buddy. I don't think that's what the email says. Lexi asks, when will Drury administer their own ACT exam?
We don't.
We don't, but we do have a specific type of ACT testing on campus that we can give you.
Yeah.
We aren't giving it right now. Obviously, everyone is quarantined, stay at home.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're asking kind of like, since ACTs have been canceled, are we going to be giving them at Drury?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because it's still through ACT. So if ACT isn't delivering exams, we aren't either. But we are test optional now. So if you missed the beginning of the video, next year for admission requirements, testing will be optional. You can send us an essay instead. And so if you've missed dates or they're canceling in the future and stuff like that, then it is not necessary, but we do still accept them if you have them. Josiah wants to know, how and when would I be able to find out what credits would transfer from dual credit? I'll answer that one. Guys, stop talking.
So what you can do is, as soon as you're admitted, I'm assuming if you're a senior and you're coming in the fall, what we would do is, as soon as you're admitted, you can take your transcripts that you have. So if they're from high school, like AP credit or IB credit, or if you took college classes, like as an undergraduate or as a high schooler, you would have those transcripts and you would send those over to our Compass Center Academic Advising Office, and they will work with you to see what classes will transfer in and count towards your academics and what credits will move over. So we actually start that process before you even arrive on campus. So then when you start the fall semester, what credits you've already earned coming in.
Absolutely. I love that answer. Thank you. Bless you. Grace wants to know, if I am a junior now, should I apply this August or next? If you were a junior this year, you will apply this August, the August of your senior year. Yes. You don't have to. You can do it after that. But August is when it pops up. And be the first one to apply to Drury. That could be fun. Did I answer that well? Yes, you can apply this. If you're a junior right now, then it will be the August of your senior year. Mackenzie wants to know, does Drury take IB credits? If so, do they transfer fully? Is there certain criteria in order to get credit for being in IB?
I can answer that.
Yes, I was in IB, but please, no, hit it. It's all you.
So there are certain, yes, we do take IB, but, and then Katie, you can actually correct me if I'm wrong, but there are certain, no, so you actually may need to correct me, because it's different from AP, where if there's there's different levels.
It's just different scoring. It's
there's
like
different scores.
AP. Exactly. But you're correct with, and I'm not sure exactly what each one is, but each class, there's a certain,
vary.
Yeah, and you have to hit that certain score. But also I know, because IB has canceled testing. So we must be reworking, all colleges are then, on what qualifies, obviously. So if you're a junior this year and you're worried about, like, if you're going to get your IB diploma, will that transfer? If you're a senior this year, then reach out to your counselor, and they should do it case by case, and talk to you about that, because we know the tests have been canceled. But there are certain requirements as far as, like, if you get the certain score in that class on if it transfers. I will say I got the diploma by the skin of my teeth, may I add. But I had a lot of credits transfer in, and it was certainly, like, to speak to what you said, where it's all handled before you even get there. I just sent them my transfer because it had my IB scores in there. An academic advisor already had all that planned out for me. So when I got to campus, I sat down with an academic advisor, and they were like, these are the classes you already have transferred in. You're good. And it was a very easy process.
It's very similar to AP, where there's a different kind of threshold for each. So it may be a different threshold for history than it is for languages or something like that. So we really need your transcripts in order to evaluate what you're going to bring over.
Absolutely. I just got a message that I am wrong, which is so normal about it. Our application opens June 1st. And then the Common App, which if you are applying to colleges, you might know what that is. It's one that you can kind of fill out one application and send to a bunch of schools. Common App opens August 1st. So we are June 1st and Common App is August 1st. My bad. Let's see. Laura wants to know, can you describe your psychology program? Who would do that here?
I don't know. I really don't. I'm so excited. I feel like this question was planted. Was it? No, it wasn't.
Yes, I typed it.
So I'm a health psychologist. So I'm really excited. So we have a Department of Behavioral Sciences here. We have 2 tracks in psychology. So the majority of our students in the psychology program actually want to go on in do work as professional like psychologists. So they want to go on and they want to be clinicians, or they want to go on and be school psychologists. So we kind of have 2 different tracks here. We have what's called a research track, and that track is preparing students to go on to get their degree, their advanced degrees, like their doctorate degrees in research psychology and experimental psychology and clinical psychology and school psychology. So these are students where we know that we are not their final endpoint. So they're going on. And then we have an applied track, which would be for students that they're really interested in human behavior, but they don't necessarily want to do psychology as their field. So for example, they may be a business major and they want to work in the business world, but you're going to be working with people, right? So you may want a business degree and a psychology degree, and that's going to be immensely helpful for you. So there's 2 different tracks. And I can talk all day long about what's within those tracks, but I would really encourage you to do a faculty one-on-one. I'd be more than happy to do it with you if you sign up with me. We can do a Zoom, and I can tell you all about the classes within each of those tracks.
Perfect. Couldn't think of a better question for you. Let's see. Gavin wants to know, he said, I am interested in the architecture program. Do I need a portfolio? From my understanding, JSB, please correct me if I am wrong, you don't need a portfolio. You don't need to come in with any prior experience to architecture?
No, I'm under the same impression that you are. No.
Perfect. Yeah. Because we know that at high school level, you don't get a lot of architecture experience. And so we don't expect that from you. It is a 5-year master's program, which you probably already know, but they will start you from the ground up. So you really don't need to come in with a portfolio.
That was really funny, Katie.
Thank you. Valerie wants to know, if you've applied for Sunderland housing, when will decisions be made? We have moved the decision deadline for Sunderland. The action is now due on May 15th. Instead of, it was April 15th, now it's May 15th. And so those decisions, they need to collect, that's the deadline that you can apply for them. They need to collect those and go through them, and they actually read everyone individually. And so they'll need a little bit of time for that. I imagine it'll be June, mid-June, early June that you will know. That's usually when we send out housing decisions anyway. So bear with us on that one. We had to bump the date, obviously, so it'll be a little bit later than expected, but they will read them as quick as possible. So we'll let you know. It'll be in the summer. AJ wants to know, are scholarships stackable? AJ, excellent question. For the most part, yes. The only thing that is confusing, or not confusing, but the only thing that is different with stackable scholarships are sports scholarships, athletic scholarships, NCAA scholarships. They don't stack. They do stack with our academic scholarship. So when you apply, whatever you get based off of your GPA, ACT, essay for next year when it's optional, is you are already given that scholarship. You've earned that. You can add athletics to that, but then you can't really stack anything else. You can't get need-based aid and things like that. But they are mostly stackable, especially if you don't have an NCAA scholarship in the mix. London would like to know, can you describe the pre-acceptance programs for med school? Would anyone else like to talk?
So my current roommate actually, and then one of my other best friends, they both did the pre-acceptance program for KCU, which is the DO school in Kansas City. So they found out the spring of their sophomore years that they were in medical school. So I believe they submitted their ACT scores, but they didn't have to take the MCAT, which I also had a lot of other friends that took the MCAT, and Tori and Haley definitely, I think, were very lucky to get past that. So definitely look into that if that's something you're interested in. I know that they are really thankful they did it. Some you are at Drury for 3 years, and then some you stay for all 4, but Drury prepares you well regardless if you're there for 3 or 4. So
Absolutely. JSB, do you have anything? Or that was pretty good,
No, that's
Madeline.
great.
That was
That was
excellent.
great. You nailed it.
Pre-acceptance programs do have certain requirements, and I guess it does kind for next year because we are test optional. Some of our pre-acceptance programs for med school, actually all of them, require a minimum ACT score. That is obviously through a different school, and so I don't know if they're going to plan on changing any kind of requirement there. But I guess we'll have to see, because that is something that's changing and kind of up in the air right now. But I will say, not all of our pre-health students that go to med school, obviously, like Madeline said, she had friends that went to med school and didn't do pre-acceptance. It's something that you have to do. Like, you have to come to Drury and do pre-acceptance. It's just a really cool perk to get that opportunity. And so you can take the more traditional route, but it is always an option. Let's see. Mackenzie would like to know, would you be able to talk about your nursing program? Rapid fire. Nursing program is a dual degree program. It is 4 years total. You get a BA in health sciences from Drury and a BSN from Cox College. Cox College is right across the street from Drury, so you're able to be a regular Drury student the entire 4 years. If you're in Greek life, if you're in other clubs or anything like that, organizations, you're welcome to be in those all 4 years. You start taking nursing classes, you apply for it the spring of your sophomore year, so you would take them your junior and senior year, and you can graduate with 2 whole degrees rather than going to a school for 2 years and then transferring to a BSN program. It's a one-stop shop. Wow. Raquel says hi. First off, hi Raquel. I'm interested on getting on the dance team, but kind of afraid because of time management. Any advice?
Yes, so I did dance team my freshman year. I only did it 1 year because I was also involved with Greek life and got on leadership for that. It was super manageable. I'm not positive exactly. Obviously, that was 4 years ago. That makes me feel really old. But practices, they like work really well with everybody's schedules, and the games are usually like Thursday nights and then Saturdays. So it didn't really interfere with classes, and they always tried to work out schedules for the whole team. So definitely doable, and you should definitely do it.
Perfect. Hey, Dre, do you have any like experiences with like conflicts, and then how you kind of dealt with that with faculty and seeing like how things can be pushed around?
So yeah, I've had a couple of instances where I've had to travel. Not even just for sports, but just like in general. Like I had emergencies or things that I need to take care of, so I had to leave. And we had projects or assignments due, but faculty are really understanding and really flexible. And it was a simple conversation, like, all right, so then do X, Y, Z, and then we'll take care of, whatever later. But they're understanding, just to communicate with them and express what's going on. Someone said earlier that the faculty get emails about when we leave for athletics and stuff. So like they know, but also talk to them just so that you guys are on the same page, before you travel.
Absolutely. Good call. Let's see. There's so many. Oh no, I missed it. Nope, I got it. Anthony wants to know, what is tuition, including housing and meals? Anthony, for the fall for next year, it's going to be $29,900 for tuition. And then room and board depends on which dorm that you choose. We do off of an average price of about $39,000 to $40,000 a year, and that's including like student fees and a bunch of other things. But that is an estimate. Like I said, you can choose different options that cost different things. But also, if you're a junior, it might be a little bit different. Some prices might fluctuate a little bit. So we will have that information for you if you're a junior a little bit later. But it would be totally fine for you to kind of look at Drury as a price range of what we are for next year, because it won't change too crazy. Davis said, when will the application open? Is there a chance it could open early due to this craziness? Great question, Davis. Davis, that is a question for someone way above my head. But the application opens for us on June 1st, And the Common App opens on August 1st, a little bit later than that. We'll let you know if anything changes, if any of our deadlines change at all. But right now we're functioning with those two. Corinne wants to know, does Drury have intramural sports? Yes. Does anyone want to talk about them? Madeline, you got excited.
That's one thing I really miss here is that I can't like go to intramural games and like play intramural games, and like I'm not athletic. But like my sweet sorority sisters like let me play a few times, and like I still have t-shirts, guys. Intramurals are really fun. They're great study breaks.
They are very fun. They're the perfect, like, you don't have to be good at it to do it. And I like.
Yeah.
Dre, do you play any intramurals? Do you have time?
I don't, largely because I just don't have time, and then it's also like try not to get hurt and then like make coach mad. But
yeah. That's probably a good call for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Tania wants to know, oh, Dre, I am being recruited for track and field at Drury.
Okay.
Congrats. How is the program?
So we actually just got a new set of coaches this past season, but we've already had a big shift in the trajectory of the program. We actually sent Claire McCune, a fellow junior, to the national cross country meet this year. So that's, I think, the first woman we've sent in program history. Like you might have to check me on that. But we're hoping to hopefully send the whole women's squad this year, and then eventually push the whole men's squad out. But we've got a great group of kids that are coming in, both on the cross country and track side. We've got some great coaches. Big things are happening.
That's awesome. Congrats. Josiah wants to know, what are some highlights about the cafeteria? Josiah, what aren't the highlights about the cafeteria? JSB, have you eaten in the Commons recently?
Taco Tuesday.
Thank you. Would you like to talk about Taco Tuesday?
What's not to talk about?
So good.
Can
Not the mic. You have to exit.
But okay, Stir Fry Friday.
Stir Fry Friday has
Madeline,
though. Yes.
Madeline, I think they changed it. I don't want to scare you. I know.
Yeah.
Dre, am I wrong?
I think it's Hibachi Wednesday now.
Yes.
So
and then on Friday, isn't it like something like wings, or like more like burgers and wings and pizza and stuff? Or am I wrong?
I think so, because by then it's like you're just winding down for the weekend or whatever. So I think it's something like that.
My personal favorite is breakfast. I think the Commons breakfast kicks butt. Like it's so good.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yep. The food is really good. I will say, back when I was a tour guide, I used to say things like, if you're expecting to show up at the Ritz and get like all this, it's cafeteria food, just point blank, but it is good. I had very low expectations coming into college for cafeteria food, and I didn't eat in the cafeteria in high school. Perfectly fine with Commons food, so it is very good. And there's the CX option, which is more grab and go, get a coffee, things like that. So there are a lot of options for food on campus. And in Springfield, how many restaurants are in Springfield? It feels like millions. I'm wrong, but it feels like millions. So Mackenzie wants to know, do you have an architectural engineering program? No.
I don't believe so.
The 5-year architecture masters, and we do have pre-engineering. So you would come to Drury for a physics degree, and then we work with, like, there's one with Wash U, and so you could do, it's the 3-2 program with them for engineering. But so when I get questions like this, as from an admissions standpoint, we don't have architectural engineering. So if that's something that that you want to do, have at it. If you can find a school with that, that's incredible. But if you're thinking like, oh, I kind of like architecture, kind of might be into engineering, I don't really know, Drury would be honestly the perfect place for you. And I'm not just trying to be like a used car salesman. We do such a good job of helping you figure out how you can do a bunch of different things at once and kind of morph that into what you want to do. So again, if there's a program you have to go to do what you want to do in your life and it's not at Drury, I totally understand. But if you're thinking you like those two things, we have very strong programs in both of those. So you're welcome to talk to faculty and see if they have an idea for you that's personalized that might get to where you need to go to do what you want to do in life. Mackenzie. Christian with a K again, love that name, wants to know, what do your tuition prices look like? So I said that a little bit before, but the price for this year, it isn't guaranteed that it'll be the price for next year if you're a junior. But if you are a senior for this upcoming year, it's $29,900 for tuition. Room and board is a little bit different, and it varies between each dorm and each food choice you make, like which package that you want to go with. But we like to function on a estimated total cost of Drury from anywhere from $39,000 to $40,000 a year. And again, it is super dependent on what you pick, and it could change a little bit for the 2021 fall. Wow, that doesn't even feel like a year. But great question. Michelle, in all caps, so she's screaming at us, wants to know, how do fusion classes to your major classes? JSB?
Can you repeat that? How do fusion classes?
Yes, please. How do fusion classes fit into your major classes?
Ooh, so I think there's a few ways I could answer this. So fusion, your Drury fusion is actually like our entire academic experience that all students go through. And within your Drury fusion, you will select your major. So all students will select a major, and then all students will select one of our 16 multidisciplinary certificates. Now, certificates are things like sports leadership, going beyond the game, graphic storytelling, holistic health and well-being. There is a whole host of different certificates. Now, the beauty of this is that these things could be things that complement each other. Like you could have a business degree, like a marketing degree with a data analytics certificate, but they don't necessarily have to. It could be something that's you're doing just because it's fun, right? Like it's just because they're paired together. So all students will select their major, all students will select a certificate, and then all students will select a third credential, and that could be another major, another minor, or another certificate. It's kind of like whatever you would like to do. So your fusion classes, sometimes, so the entire thing is your Drury fusion. In some cases, what students refer to as double dipping, you may have like a Psych 101 class that may count towards a certificate, but also counts towards your major. We do see that overlap, though, that double dip happen occasionally, and you work with your faculty advisor and academic advisors in the Compass Center to help you out as you're planning your academic trajectory. But so that's kind of how the whole program works. I hope that answers your question.
Oh no. It says,
Here we go.
it says,
Oh, wait.
Nathan, Katie. Okay, Brad.
Okay, we can hear you.
Go. Can you hear
We
me?
can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This was like growing up, that commercial. Can you hear me now? That was beautiful. Love that. Oops. Could you hear any of the question I was asking? Good. Why would you? You don't need it. Gail, I'm so sorry, Gail, for ruining your question. Gail asked, if you're not requiring ACT scores, how do you determine merit scholarships? Of what I've read, you need a 30 to get the most money for merit. So first off, it is a sliding grid scale for our scholarships for the next year for fall 2020. And so you do need a 30 to get the trustee scholarship, which is the $20,000, and then a higher GPA. But for next year, we haven't set our grid scale. So if you're, so you're asking for fall 2021 because you're asking about test optional. So we haven't nailed down everything, I think, for the sliding grid scale for that. But it is essay based. And I honestly think that you should just reach out to your counselor and ask. I don't want to say anything incorrect, and that is something that we're kind of working through right now. We just announced recently that it was test optional, and so you are correct for this next year for 30 being necessary. But past that, we will work on it and see what we can do as far as essays. I believe it's if you send us an ACT score and it is a 30, maybe you already have a 30. I love that for you, Gail. Then that'll be good for your scholarships. But again, we'll just work through it. It's all kind of up in the air right now. Rose, can you describe your drama program? It sounded like I was asking Rose. Rose wants to know. Does anyone know anything? Anyone want to talk about the drama program?
We have an amazing theater program. We have a new black box theater. Our students, you can major in theater. So we have students that are involved in our productions. I don't remember how many productions we have in a given year, but there are many. And yes, there are many. And students that take part in the productions are majors and then also non-majors. So if theater is a passion of yours, I would absolutely recommend that you continue that passion here. So and then also just check out on the website all of the different productions that we've had in recent years. Check out our new black box theater that was just recently built in the last year. It's a really great program.
Perfect. Let's see. Davis asks, when will the application to apply open? Is there a chance that the application will open sooner than originally planned? I don't know if it'll open any sooner. I don't believe so, but application opens June 1st. And then for Common App, if you're using the Common App, it is August 1st. And that will be the summer before your senior year. Let's see. Alexis wants to know, are there any of these classes associated with caring for equine or horses?
Yeah.
We don't have an equine program at Drury. There are different outlets in the Springfield area if you're interested in doing like equine therapy or working with horses. And so it's an option. I actually have a student right now that's coming in the fall that is really interested in working with horses and therapy and things like that, just because that's already something she's doing in her life. And she doesn't necessarily want to do it professionally, but she wants to do it for those little horses. So fun. So that is something that she can do while being in the Springfield area. It's not a part of her Drury Fusion, but it technically is because it's a part of her.
I have students that intern in equine therapy. They have intern in behavioral sciences and psychology. We have students that intern all the time. So
perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. Take me with you. That sounds super fun. AJ wants to know, is it possible to get a dual major in exercise science and sports broadcasting in 4 years?
We have a communications program. I don't believe we have a sports broadcasting program. Katie, correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe that's correct. Yeah. But
yes,
I think
you could do the two.
Exactly. Getting exercise phys and broadcasting would probably put you in a pretty good spot. Right. Absolutely. Talk to an academic advisor. We'll get it all out.
We'll work it out.
Mary says that is such a cute dog. What kind is it, Mary? This is Cricket. Cricket is dead asleep right now, or she was. She is a mini Aussie Doodle, and she's very cute and very ornery. Thank you for asking, Mary. Kirsten asked, what is Springfield like? Dre, would you like to talk about Springfield?
Yeah, sure. So Springfield is, like I said earlier, it's got like the big city attraction, but a smaller city feel to it. And there's plenty to do. You can always find something to do, either, on C Street or downtown or a little further out, depending on, what you're trying to do. But you can eat somewhere. There's always plenty of places to eat. There's plenty of places to go see a movie, and there's plenty of places to physically do things. And you're gonna get immersed in Springfield culture and like the arts and everything in the process. So it's a fun time. Love Springfield.
Absolutely. I think it's very common when we ask that question that everyone says it's like the small town feel, but all of the bigger city amenities, which is nice. Yeah. Let's see. AJ asks, are scholarships stackable? Scholarships are stackable mostly unless you're working with an NCAA scholarship. And that is not stackable, but it is stackable with the academic scholarship that you qualify for with your credentials after applying. So talk to your counselor about that. And once you send us our application, we'll have kinds of Zoom meetings with you about financial aid. So Melanie asks, how is your biology program? Madeline, I know for a fact you went through part of it.
Biology program is wonderful. So since I did biochem, I did a little bit of both. But we have some of the best biology professors. They are, can I say this, Katie? Katie's dad was my advisor, and he was my one of my biology professors. And I know that he does like really cool like research, and so like he goes out, like I did. We got to go and like catch frogs in a pond, and I just like do really fun things like that. So stuff like that you might not get to do at bigger schools. And we have like anatomy labs, and like if you get queasy, close your ears. But like you get to dissect animals and like that kind of stuff. So it's like really like really hands-on. And I would say most of your classes.
Absolutely. I'm telling Kevin Jansen you said that. He's gonna be so proud of you. Just send you an email. So Corinne wants to know, could you describe your biochemistry program? Madeline.
So same thing. So you will take a mix of biology and chemistry programs. With chemistry, you do have mostly labs attached to most of those classes. Because like the way the program's set up, you'll take both, and then you get to like pick elective classes. So like you could take a couple more anatomy classes if you want to focus more on biology, or a couple more chemistry classes if you want to focus more on the chemistry side of it. I was it was just like a new major when I started, but I would say the program has grown exponentially. And then my senior year was the first year they did capstone, and I got to do a really cool research project about drug development, which is like, I'm in pharmacy school right now. So it was really cool to like tie in like my Indian jury experience with like what I'm doing now. So.
Perfect. Mary wants to know, and it's the same Mary that asked about my dog. What shows are you guys binge watching? I need to know if I will be compatible with Drury's culture. Mary, we are friends. JSB, do you have any shows that you are binge watching right now?
I did just binge watch Tiger King. I did do that.
Have to. Yeah, have to.
I had to.
I would like to say, even though I'm from Oklahoma, I have never been to the zoo, or no, I do not know Joe Exotic. Yes, I have been asked that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Dre, what are you up to?
I just finished a show, the second season of a show called Legacies, and I'm about to start Elite season 3 probably tonight, so I'm excited.
Perfect. JSB, I love that you watched Tiger King. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'll text you. Mary, you will be compatible on campus. I'm telling you right now.
There is somebody for everybody. We're a family.
Absolutely. Yep. Anthony wants to know how many students per class. I'm assuming graduating class. And actually, Madeline, I mean, I know like the average, but Madeline, do you know how many people you graduated with? We graduated with? The number off the top of your head? I don't either.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted there to be a specific.
374. I have no idea.
So there's a. Yeah. No, go ahead, JC.
No, I think the average class that we bring in is about 450 or 460. I think every year is the amount of students that we bring in terms of class size. Right. 17, 18-ish. So.
Yeah. I think I interpreted the question wrong. Thank you for fixing that.
You're good.
Corinne wants to know what types of dorms are open to incoming freshmen. Corinne, there are 3 freshman dorms. They're all a little bit different personality-wise, but they are all suite style. So what that means is there's no hallway style bathroom or community style bathroom. You only share, the most people you share a bathroom with is 3 other people. 2 of our dorms you share a bathroom with 3 other people. there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom in between. And the third dorm, you actually have your own bedroom. It's 4 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms. You only share a bathroom with one other person. They are awesome. Please take a look at our virtual tours online. They can kind of show you what it looks like inside the dorms. We're a big fan of our dorms here at Drury. We're very proud of them. Last question of the night. Kevin wants to know, what's your one favorite thing about it? Does anyone have one just like immediately in their brain? JSB.
The relationships I build with students. You don't know how many weddings I go to, how many like pictures of babies, like baby announcements I get in the mail. And I get to see you like graduate from like your master's or your doctorate program and get married. And, you know, so we build relationships for life. So yeah, it's kind of fun. So we're not just your faculty advisors. I feel like we developed this relationship that is, you know, sustains over time. So it's pretty cool.
Perfect. You too?
Gray, do you want to go? Do you want me to go?
It's up to you. If you want to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So this was my first year at pharmacy school. My first semester, I honestly had the hardest time because it was not Drury. I didn't make friends super easily because I just like felt like it would just like wasn't the Drury experience. Like I didn't have a hallway full of like fun, amazing people. I didn't have a sorority that I mean, I'm still in the sorority, but you don't have those people surrounding you. So I would just like say that it's the community. I watched the Dear DU videos, is that what they were called, that were just published a couple weeks ago. And like even having graduated, I would say that like I knew 75 people, like 75% of the people that were in those videos. Even if they were younger than me, you just like get to know so many people and like you just recognize them. And it's just like the community that you feel like engulfed in a new family. So that'd be my favorite thing.
I think
Absolutely.
I think I would just piggyback off of what both of you all said and combine that. Like as it is, like coming to college, it's different and it can be stressful, especially if you're not, you know, from the area. So to come in and instantly be accepted by people on campus, professor, faculty, students alike, it's great. And you build these connections and relationships, and then that expands beyond the classroom and like what you do in class with your classmates or your professors. Matter of fact, this year has been really interesting for me because of those connections that like I added my second major with the writing, and then I started working on a podcast, and that stemmed from things that came from classes, and then taking that stuff beyond the classroom and connecting with professors outside of that. So
absolutely. I loved all those answers. I agree with all of them. And I obviously love Drury and have many favorite parts of them because they can't get rid of me. So if everyone wants to wave goodbye, I think that was the last question.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here and asking questions. And hopefully you'll get to meet these people someday. Bye, guys.
Bye.